Gutterball.
Welcome everyone to Frame 27 of Gutterball coming at you live right now. We got our co-host Paul down there, and we got our fantastic guest Kryptonite right over there. How's you
Hello,
going?
everyone.
For those that don't know, Kryptonite's a YouTuber that we message. Thought we'd bring him on. Usually we go into how our weeks are going, but let's go into what's Kryptonite. Kind of tell everyone how you are and like what you're about.
Yeah, go ahead, Grip.
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thank you. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting year this year in regards to obviously me and YouTube. Yeah, it seems to be growing quite well, quite quickly.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Pretty much have to thank the game Dinkum for that one, to be honest. Since that kind of come out and I've enjoyed it a lot. Did a few videos on it, and a lot of people seem to like them. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much about it.
And that's how I found you,
Going well.
Kryptonite, and
Yeah.
and that's good. And that's why I wanted you on. Is I was like, oh man, like this guy, like he's growing pretty quick. Like I looked at your YouTube history. Not only do you like play Dinkum, you had some grounded videos,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
Jackson plays that a lot. I haven't touched grounded yet. I
Yeah.
do want to touch it, but anyways, like my week's been all right. I've been decent. It's been super busy with holiday, but after this kind of weekend here with Christmas and everything, I think it's gonna kind of slow down again, which would be nice. Jackson, how's your week been?
Good. More same old, same old. Just grinding out days, trying to grind out some money. Still putting out content for you guys to enjoy. Not much else. It's been pretty more the same old, same old. But speaking of grounded, Kryptonite. So I played grounded with like 3 or 4 friends when it came out. Right, we were having a great
Yep.
time. Are we just bad at games, or is that game incredibly difficult? Like it's just so punishing. It's just one of the more harder online games I played in a while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I haven't played with people.
Mhm.
I tend to play more solo just because it's kind of easier to make content if you're doing
Right.
it solo. You can
100%.
kind of obviously niche down on certain subjects and
Mhm.
bits and pieces. But yeah, even playing it solo, it's very difficult,
It's
should we
brutal.
say. It,
No,
yeah,
biggest
it's
problem
brutal.
plaguing that game right now is that you can't upgrade your inventory system, and it's
Yes,
always
yes,
full. It's
yeah.
permanently full. Paul, if you haven't played it, you should really try out Ground. Obsidian made it, so it's a decent game.
Obsidian made it?
Yeah, Obsidian did that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay,
So
well now I'm more intrigued because like
yeah, dude,
Jack and
it's
I are
hard.
huge Fallout New Vegas fanboys, and then also like we
Mhm.
liked Outer Worlds and stuff, so
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. It's good to
Okay.
know I'm not just terrible at Grounded,
No, no.
because man,
I mean, I haven't played it in a while.
right.
Obviously I've been doing sort of a lot of Dinkum, and I've recently just got back into Minecraft as well. I mean, it's
Minecraft's
I
been
fun.
saw that. Mhm.
years. It's been years since I played it, but I thought I want to start playing it again because in all honesty, apart from Dinkum and a couple of others, I'm struggling to find a chilled out game that I actually enjoy playing.
Mhm.
Um, it's been there are games that I enjoy playing, but like for a week or so, and then I've pretty much done everything.
Yeah.
Obviously Minecraft, especially now with various amounts of mod packs and whatever else like that. I've just recently got back into it and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
just it's not easy to make content in Minecraft because it's
Very
so
It's
oversaturated.
very
yeah,
saturated.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
very.
Yeah, I feel like everyone comes around to Minecraft again, maybe they put it
Oh
down
yeah,
for a year
yeah,
and eventually they come
100%.
back. I'm not in that realm right now. I haven't played Minecraft in a while, but I feel it itching in a couple months here. I'll have to pick it up again and
yeah,
play. We're like,
yeah.
good game.
Yeah, and if you're
Holds up.
ever Uber bored, like Tech It, dude, just download that and you get like 1,000 mods in it. Me and my buddies had
Yeah.
so much fun playing that. I
Mhm.
remember like we built like an entire nuclear reactor that powered like all the electric stuff in our city, and then my buddy forgot to put the coolant in it, and it literally melted down and just wiped out everything we built. And I was like, well,
That's
that's it.
gnarly.
We're not playing on that world anymore.
That's so cool, man. All the fun. I haven't really even modded Minecraft much. I'm usually just a vanilla type guy. Just want the classic.
Now that Jackson's
Yeah.
very new to PC, now that he's on it, we got to get him into some modded Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I used to play a lot of vanilla Minecraft, but then as you know, it can be very repetitive.
100%.
Not much. I mean, there's still absolutely plenty to do. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes with games like that, I feel like it needs a change. And obviously, all of these modded packs are absolutely incredible. There's so many different, ways to do things and things to do, and certain things that you can build that you couldn't in vanilla Minecraft, and it does make the game that much better, if you ask
Mm-hmm.
me.
It does. It's really
Yeah,
fun.
100%.
Definitely.
Even if you just do like a light bit of modding, right? Like you don't have to go
Oh yeah, yeah.
crazy, just like a
No,
few like decent mods to make it a little entertaining, maybe add some more items or some more useful things.
yeah,
100% agree though, yeah. But yeah, it does get very boring fast. But then, however, there's always that, every couple years there's that itch to be like, oh, I just
oh
want
yeah,
to do vanilla,
yeah,
right? Like I just want
Yeah.
to just like do
yeah,
vanilla, get diamond, and what's it like netherite now is like the
Yeah.
the top thing to
yeah.
get. Which I'm gonna
Mhm.
be honest with you, I haven't played like since that patch. Like I have
No.
never, I've never
You haven't even
experienced it.
experienced the caves update and stuff. It's cool. They added a lot of new mobs and stuff.
I think
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
started a creative world one time to check shit out, and I did like mess with or like check out the cave systems. That looks cool. But yeah, like did they add a bunch of more mobs, or like is it still? I know they added bees and shit, but
Yeah,
They added
apart from
bees
the
for them.
bees and that, they've all got the original mobs and a couple of different ones.
okay,
But
gotcha.
even if you haven't kept up to date with the updates, you can still jump back
Yeah.
in and you won't be overwhelmed with changes. It's still all the originals there,
Mhm.
For
which
sure.
I like.
Yeah.
Because I don't tend to like it when a game does a massive update and changes so much that if you haven't touched it in a few months or whatever, you come back and you're like, what's happened?
Yeah.
This ain't the same game as what I remember playing.
What's
Exactly.
going on? I remember
Yeah,
it being a lot more scary since updates, and that's because one, they added cave sounds, which are just
yeah,
really weird noises that shouldn't be in Minecraft, and as well as
yeah.
all the mobs down there, and like you constantly add the fight in mine, way more than you did before. It's fun though. I really like the sounds that they use. I'll have to figure out who made those. Because if you haven't heard those, Paul, look up some
I
Minecraft cave sounds.
all right,
Yeah,
yeah.
listeners out there, check that out.
See, that's why Kryptonite, why I like Dinkum is because since it's kind of like one main developer, like there's only really been like two major updates, I guess now, maybe even three since it's come
Um,
out, right? Not really
no,
many.
I think there's been one major update,
And
and
then
then
it
there's
gets
been
into
a
the
few.
festive
Yeah,
patches and stuff.
his the whole idea of him doing the festive one is because his next major update, he said it's taken him a little bit longer, obviously being a sole developer sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so he didn't leave the fans, stranded for too long. He decided to do a small little festive update just to keep everyone on their toes, really.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
honestly, I'm glad he did it because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think I have like 170 hours in that game now, like an unhealthy
Oh
amount of
yeah,
time in my one
yeah,
world. And you might even have more than me. And like that game, so like I was kind of in the same boat as you. Like, I don't really I used to not really play too many chill games, other than like Minecraft, some
yeah,
others, maybe Terraria. But then like when Dinkum came out, I saw it. It was like the day after it had released, and I was like, oh, it's getting overwhelmingly positive. This looks cool. It literally just looks like Animal Crossing Plus, but for PC. And I was like,
yeah,
cool, I'm
yeah,
into
Mhm.
that. And then when I got it, I was just like hooked. And like the thing is like I'm not really running out of stuff to do. It's just like it's the really like dull things of like, oh, talking to everybody. Like
yeah,
like there's
Yeah.
like a few people I still need to max out, and then like, oh, my animals, like maxing those out, and just like, but yeah, I'm glad he did do that update because now those cherries or whatever give me something to do. So
mm.
That's
Yeah. I mean,
wild.
the thing that I struggle with now with Dinkum is because I made it my content focus. Obviously, I've put a lot of time in the game,
yeah,
and I've got to a point now where I need to wait for the next major update because I've ran out of things to do
yeah,
because I've done it all for content,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
so I haven't really been a chill player with it. Um, and now I've kind of shot myself in the foot because I've kind of run out of things to do.
Yeah, it's the way it goes.
But
Like being a content creator
yeah,
too, like doing gaming videos. Like
Mhm.
I used to have an old YouTube channel back in the day where I did DayZ content. I played like so
oh
much
yeah,
DayZ.
yeah,
Like I had like over like 150 videos on there, and I had like 500 subs. It was something in high school. It wasn't nothing crazy, but like that's the thing is I do all that content in DayZ, and then after I'd be done doing content, I'd be like, man, I really don't want to play DayZ now. And all my buddies are like, let's play, and it's like,
yeah.
But I get it. You kind of do it solo too, and honestly, I do too. Like I don't play Dinkum with anybody. It's kind of just
No,
me.
no,
Yeah, I built the guest houses. They don't do anything. I just use them as storage.
no. Yep, yep, yeah.
I,
No,
I
but
didn't.
one thing I think Dinkin's missing, but I think that's from a more sort of selfish point of view, shall I say, is I feel like I'm missing like being able to build your own things creatively.
Yep, I agree.
But I don't know if that comes from my previous love of things like Minecraft and things like
100%.
that. You know, I want to be able to like build, I don't know, a a big like garage or something like that. But
Yeah.
with the lack of sort of building materials, which I do understand, that's not necessarily the way he wants to go.
Yeah.
And you know, that's fine for the game. It's just you know, talking to other people and that they feel like they want to be able to build their own buildings,
100%. I agree.
but they can't, sort of thing. You know, whether the developer will put things like that in or not is kind of unknown at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what I think. From what I've seen, he has listened to people say things like that. So I'm pretty sure he'll probably bring something in, but I'm guessing he wants to make it a bit more unique,
Yeah.
you know, and not over the top. So
100%.
it takes away from what the game's actually designed for.
Okay. So here's my grand idea for that game. So I have a bunch of
Yep.
fruit trees because that was like the way at the beginning to just like maximize cash flow, but I need a fast way to get all of them, right? Like to harvest all of them.
Yep.
So I was thinking they make something similar to the dirt printer, but they call it the Quaker, and it like hits the ground kind of like a jackaroo and just like knocks fruit within like 10 blocks off the tree. That's something
Interesting.
like I want
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Or even like a fruit basket that like kind of does the same thing, but maybe grabs it from like a larger area. But like a Quaker, like that's cool. That's goofy like the dirt printer. I thought that that'd be kind of a cool
Yeah.
something cool
No,
like
that that would make sense. I mean, obviously they've got some sort of vehicles in there. Obviously they've got the tractor
Yeah.
for harvesting the wheat and stuff. So yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea to get something like that in for the trees and obviously your bushes for your wattle brew and everything else like that.
100%.
Yeah, it would be that'd be a good idea to have something like that in, so you can harvest most of it at the same time, sort of thing.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna
But
lie,
yeah,
man.
yeah, as you said, like do it sort of where it does 10 blocks at a time rather than all of them, because then it's a bit too
Overkill.
overpowered doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Like between like 10 and 20 blocks, like whatever he thinks is fair. And then like also too, like you know how the dirt printer is, you don't get much use out of it before it needs to be like recharged, right? So even I'd be cool with
Yep.
that. Like if he just makes it like pretty limited use.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was one developer. That's kind of crazy, actually. You never see that
Yeah.
really.
It's kind of like Stardew
So,
Valley, right? There's one guy.
Yeah.
I would
That guy that made Stardew Valley, yeah, he made a killing off that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
Huge.
feel like James Benden with Dinkum is going to be doing the same, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
only growing and
Yeah.
it's overwhelmingly positive. And honestly, I was surprised when it came out how well polished it was. People talk about these bugs. I never really encountered any. I would get one every once in a while. It'd be weird. Like sometimes I'd spawn into my house and everything would be missing. Like I'd be
Yeah.
there's no textures. And I just have to like exit and reload the game. But
Yeah, to be fair, obviously, you know, doing all the videos that I did and doing all the experiments and bits and pieces like that, I rarely found any bugs.
yeah,
And I've put, you know, as much, if not more hours than what you have into the game.
yeah.
And, you know, when I'm reading the bugs that other people have found, I was like, I've never come across that ever.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. Like I've maybe had like one weird texture thing, or like there was this one time I was like shoveling dirt and I got shot like 100 feet in the air and I landed, but there's like no fall damage, so I was like perfectly
Yeah.
fine. But I was like, well, that was weird. But yeah, no, Dinkum's great, and I really like your Dinkum content. I mean, like again, that's how I discovered you. I was like, okay, this guy knows his shit. So whenever you upload, I just like watch your videos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done a Dinkum video in a while, but that's just because I've just kind of got no ideas. I think I've pretty much
You've hit everything.
covered everything, so
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to make until the new update. Obviously, with you know big changes and things like that, then there will be plenty of more content. But at this moment in time, there isn't really much else to report on the game apart from what I've covered. So
You're right. You've pretty
Yeah.
much covered everything. I mean, you even covered like how to make a pool, and I watched that and I made my own pool.
Yeah.
Like,
good.
yeah.
I kind of did mess that one up. I kind of made mine a bit too deep, and now I've just got jellyfish.
Oh,
I can't
right.
really use
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, Dinkum, the Dinkum content's great. You know, so do you ever play, so like other than Dinkum, I will get into some questions here too, but like other than Dinkum, are there any like RPG games you play, shooting games that like you're into that you play regularly or that like has like a place in your heart that you like a lot or
Um, I've always been a big Call of Duty fan.
okay.
Um, yeah, but I don't know. The past few years, I haven't been enjoying it as much.
I'm in the same
Mhm.
boat, dude. It gets old,
Um,
man.
yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way. Like when they release a new one, it's great for a few months, and then everyone just puts it down because there's. I think the thing they're struggling with is coming up with new ideas. I
Yeah.
think mainly sort of I do like what they've done with the gunsmith and everything now. That's a whole new design and a new idea,
Yeah.
and it's great. And I quite like the way they've done it. The thing that lets them down with the new one is they've repurposed the same maps over and over again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think that's what they need to change. Um, to keep the fans in the right direction, they need to come up with some new map designs and stop repurposing maps because
100%.
they are the most common comments that I see, all over Twitter and YouTube and bits and pieces like that. Everyone says the same thing. Stop making the same maps, just look different.
Yeah.
You need to come up with new map designs. Like, yes, you've done well because you've redesigned the whole gunsmith and things like that, and that's great. You've done something, but what about the rest of it? It's all the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then, from their point of view, on the same token, they can't change too much because then it won't be the same game.
Right.
So I understand from both sides where they're coming from. But yeah, I just feel they need some new map designs more than repurposing the same maps over and over again.
I think they need to just put away COD for 5 years. Don't make another one, and then come back and give us something good. Bring zombies back. Obviously, if you don't have zombies in the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
COD, no one's
yeah.
gonna buy. I promise you.
No.
And it's good actually. The last like few zombies modes they had in those Cold War and World War II, those are good zombies. Like they did well on that. Keep doing that. But yeah, change the maps. I don't want to see Dome again. I don't need to see Nuketown, Terminal,
Yeah,
any of that. Just do something new.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Also,
mean,
like oh, so I don't like how they just rebranded Modern Warfare. It's like, is it
no.
Modern Warfare or
Yeah,
is it not?
yeah. No, I agree with that one. Yeah, in regards to the zombies, I used to like the zombies and I used to play a lot of zombies.
Mhm.
I did try it out on Vanguard and I must have played about an hour and a half and then put it
I
down.
don't think I played that one, so that may be the newest one I haven't played either. But
Yeah.
you're not liking it?
Um,
Okay.
no, I'll just say it's nothing like what the whole zombie community is used to.
Okay.
It's but what I've just said about what they need to do with the maps is what they did with zombies in Vanguard.
Mhm.
They completely redesigned how it works.
Okay.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's not round based anymore. Well,
Hmm.
I think they did do an update where they did introduce round based back because there were so many complaints.
Yeah.
There were so many complaints that they completely took that whole aspect, which has been in zombies for years, that I
Interesting.
think they finally give in and did bring it back. But yeah, I mean, from what I understand from the zombies community, they all still play Black Ops Zombies just because you've got the
Mods.
extra maps and the mods and all that lot. Um, yeah, which I think is where they've let themselves down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Me and Paul are familiar with the Black Ops 3 modded
Yeah,
maps, some of
Yeah,
them.
we play
We had a lot
that's
of fun
we'll
on
jump
them.
on, we it's been a
yeah,
minute. We should hop on
Yeah.
soon, do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's
They're pretty
and
yeah.
spicy.
I agree the same thing, Kryptonite. Like the last Call of Duty I think I bought was World War II, and that was on my PlayStation 4 because I got like the combo camo PS4
Yeah,
or whatever. And
yeah,
Mhm.
um
Yeah, you did.
it's and the reason why I haven't bought a COD since then is because I put about 50, 60 hours into it and then I get bored and I never
Mhm.
touch it
yeah,
again.
yep.
And that's why I didn't buy, like, don't get me wrong, when this Modern Warfare 2, whatever rebrand came out, I was like, oh, cool, they're going back to their roots. That's cool. But I didn't buy it because I saw myself, same thing. It's going to be 50, 60 hours into the online and maybe play the campaign and then I'd be done with it. And
Yeah.
I do really like so like I used to be a big Escape from Tarkov fan. I play it off and on now. I just play like single player mod because I'm sick of sweats online because I don't have enough time to play as much as those people
Yeah.
anymore. But like that DMZ mode's fun. Like I don't really like Warzone really, but that DMZ mode that adds bots and quests, and sure sometimes you run into
Yeah,
players. That's
yep.
pretty fun. And to play it for
Yeah.
free, why even buy Call of Duty if I can just hop on that every once in a while? So
Exactly.
No, it's true. Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously they've brought Warzone 2 out now with the DMZ. But yeah, I used to play a lot more Warzone just because they did what they needed to do. They made a change, and it was a good change. I say it was a good change. It was a good change until they didn't keep up with things. But now it's come clear why they didn't keep up with things with Warzone. Because they had the new game and they had Warzone 2 in production, so Warzone took a back seat.
yeah.
So which was a shame because I think if they had just instead of learning or should I say listening to what the public was saying and then thinking, okay, we've kind of messed this up massively, let's just put it on the back burner and make a new one. What they should have done is just took the time to fix the issues they had because it could have been very successful.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But but then you don't know what happens behind the scenes and think it might have been too much time and hassle to fix all the problems. It was probably easier just to remake it, but better.
Yeah.
And I've played a little bit of Warzone 2, but like yourself, I prefer the DMZ mode.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it quite a lot. I don't come across very many other people though playing DMZ.
Yeah,
we always run it. Somehow we always run into somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are good. Like I'm not
I
even
don't.
good at CODs anymore. So I always get like, just shredded real quick.
No, I mean
Especially if it's the
I did used to be quite good at it, but obviously since focusing on other games and that, I just haven't been able to put the time in. But when I do play it, I do enjoy it for a short period, but then I then lose the enjoyment because there's too many people that take it too seriously.
Or they play like all the time, yeah.
Yeah. But that's another issue I think they need to sort out. They need to sort out the skill-based matchmaking of it.
absolutely.
They need to have separate for casual and separate for the people that can spend the time on it. They need to find some way to obviously separate that because they are going to lose a lot of fans just because of that. Because people feel like they can't enjoy the game because they'll have a really good match and then get killed by someone who's been playing it for 30 days straight sort of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think, and that's been mentioned by many, many people that they need to sort that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
casual online gaming is dead. It almost doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's super competitive. I don't know how they're gonna do competitive skill making. One way I always thought is, how many hours you have in said game or said game mode. Like you're in this amount bracket of hours, you're playing with these guys now only, but I don't know. It's a hard thing to gauge, because someone could have 60 hours in it and still be terrible at the game,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, or even if they did something like, I don't know if you've played Apex Legends or anything like that
Oh
before.
yeah, I played season 1. That was about it.
Yeah.
I remember when that
Where
game came
they've
out.
got, where they've got the normal casual and then they've got ranked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do something. I mean, I know they've got the league, but that's mainly sort of private lobbies with their own rules. For me, if they did something as simple as that, just have casual and then ranked, I think it'd be so much better for them.
Yeah.
Because then the people that want to play serious, the players that want to get good, can go into ranked, and they can obviously showboat their skill that way, and then leave the players that can only go on for like 2 hours a week. Just let them have some fun, casual games.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they are letting themselves down. I say the older fans like the originals when, the original Modern Warfare 2 and things like that, where
Classic.
everyone used to love the game. They used to enjoy it. Like they
Yeah.
used to finish doing whatever they were doing with their day and look forward to it. And I think that love has disappeared. And
Mm.
I think it's mainly down to that issue that they can't separate between casual and people that are playing it more.
You're right, man. Nail on the head.
Yeah.
Like you're totally right, and that's totally what it is. But it's also too like with the aspect with us is that like it comes to age. Is we like those are games we grew up with when we were relatively younger, and it's like maybe it's just
Yep.
like that's part of it too. But it's also like I don't. I mean, like I don't have kids, and like not really many of my friends have kids, but I don't see any younger kids though getting super excited about Call of Duty anymore though
No.
either. Like it isn't
No.
like and the people that are playing I run into in lobbies if I do play DMZ or something and I hear voice chat, it's older people. Like it's people our age,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
you're right, man. And so I guess I kind of wanted to pivot into some questions here, if that's all right. One thing
Yeah.
I wanted to ask is like, so like, what got you into like making YouTube videos, like in general, and then like, other than that, do you see yourself ever making anything else creative or like in art? Because like, let's be honest here, making YouTube videos, it is an art. It's like a passion, right? Like I do it, you do
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah.
is there anything else you do outside of YouTube creative wise? Like, do you paint? Do you make music? Do you anything like that? Or like, kind of like, what got you into this creative aspect of stuff?
Um, to be honest, I don't really know what got me into it.
Yeah.
Um, I've always enjoyed obviously video games ever since I was younger. Um, so that's sort of always been my hobby. And then, yeah, as I said, I played a lot of obviously Call of Duty and bits and pieces like that. And then I kind of got into the realms of playing more RPGs and sort of chilled out games when I just wanted to relax a little bit and not be so serious and competitive. And it, I don't know, I was doing a lot of experimenting with different things in different games. And then I thought, well, the time that I take and like the knowledge that I gain, um, I'd always be flicking through like watching videos or reading like Reddit posts and bits and pieces like that. And I was always see people asking questions and I would know the answer. So
Mhm.
I'd reply to the comment. And then I thought, well, why don't I just, as I enjoy the gaming aspect and I enjoy the editing side of it and bits and pieces like that, why don't I just do videos and help people that way? And that's basically just what kind of got me into it. It was just a spare in the moment decision, like hobby that, yeah, it's still a hobby and I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good,
Yeah.
man. And you do crank out good stuff. Like it
Mhm.
is good, and you're getting better each
Yeah,
time.
and people
Yeah.
seem to be liking it. You're
Yeah.
growing crazy. Like I love to see small YouTube channels, even like us, just grow. It's super nice to see. Like
Yeah, definitely.
good views. Yeah,
I mean, this
and
I
the
is
mean, I
thumbnail's
did.
great though. I like they look really nice.
better than
Definitely
ours.
like good clickbait. Like I see him, like, oh, I gotta see what he's talking about there. They're nice.
That's
Yeah,
good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think thumbnails are probably the thing I feel I struggle with most. Obviously, it's very difficult when you're making thumbnails to get feedback of how they are.
right.
So obviously, you saying that you find them good and they make you want to click. That's good for me to hear because
Yeah,
that's what you want, but without
exactly.
being, um, yeah, without being sort of too
Too
what's the word?
obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah, obnoxious and sort of like yeah, misleading and things like that.
Right.
Obviously, you want to create intrigue, but without lying at the same
Yeah,
time.
Exactly.
exactly.
But with your thumbnails, it's very difficult to get feedback for them.
Hmm.
Like, okay, you've got your views and your what's it? Yeah, your can't remember the word of it now.
No, that's all good.
Um,
Like subscribers or just like your
Comments.
comments or
no, let me
no worries.
refresh
Go ahead and
my
take a
memory.
look.
So like click ratio too.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Yep. Um, yeah, sort of. So you've got them numbers to give you an indication,
yep.
Yeah.
but you can't always rely on them. It's
Mm,
No.
it's nice to hear people say
good.
like, You did catch my attention. It made me want to watch the video." It's good to hear that
Yeah.
because, as I said, it's very difficult to gauge whether your thumbnails are working or not.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, it's good to hear that. you know, people are liking the thumbnails and make you want to click and watch the videos. That's good.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
struggle with thumbnails too. Paul's really good at. He cranks out the main like podcast episode thumbnails. I do like the clips and stuff. But yeah, it is hard. It's definitely something to learn. I always think of what Mr. Beast said, and it's like, of course, Mr. Beast. But he's like, if you don't have a good thumbnail, who's clicking on your video? Like, you
Yeah,
know, like
definitely.
you know, it's like super important to have some kind of eye catching thumbnail. It's hard. Yeah, right. It's incredibly hard to gauge.
Yeah, and it's
But
also
yeah, I mean,
yeah. Go ahead, Crip.
yeah, it's like as you said, you can make sort of the best video in the world with the most information and the most knowledge that's going to wow people. But if you haven't got the thumbnail or the title there, then no one's seeing it.
Exactly.
So although the planning of the videos and the creating of the videos, the editing is very difficult to do, and to keep on top of, and obviously you'll always get better doing it. But the hardest part is your title and your thumbnail. That's
Yep.
the hardest part.
Two hardest parts.
Yeah.
Two hardest parts, hands down. And like,
I mean,
sorry, I
I've
don't mean to interrupt you.
no, it's okay. I've always sort of like when I've sort of watched videos and bits and pieces like that, they always say the best way to do it is think of your title and design your thumbnail first.
Yep.
With my sort of content, that's very difficult to do.
It is super hard.
You know, if I'm just playing games and relaying information in it, it's very difficult because I don't know what's going to happen in that hour playthrough that I edit down into a video. So I can't pre-plan the thumbnail or the title. If I'm doing my how-to video sort of things, I can. It's a little bit easier to plan the thumbnails and the titles. But in regards to the other videos, it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And even other people doing videos, I struggle to find how they would find it easier to plan their thumbnail before they even record the video. It seems very odd to me because you would use some part of that video as your thumbnail. So it just seems a bit odd that you can design your thumbnail before you record your video.
We definitely do
Yeah,
all of
but
our thumbnails last. Like we
Yeah.
do the show.
Yeah.
That's like literally the last thing I do because it's like, okay, what topics do we talk about? Is there anything like, is there a current event we talked about that's like pretty popular right now? And like, is there some way I can incorporate something related to that current event or like news or whatever into the thumbnail? Because you've seen mine. Like we have our faces on it. Like we have, you know, maybe Patty the Batty on it because we talk about UFC that week or something. And like, that's kind of what we go for. How do our thumbnails look? We do like yours. They look all right.
Yeah,
I've been getting better.
No, they are good. Yeah, very good thumbnails. It's very hard because it all depends on what type of content you're doing.
Exactly.
Right.
Obviously, people say that obviously less is more,
Mm-hmm.
but if your content is like yours, where you're talking about a lot, you've got a lot of different topics, then you kind of want to fit most of them topics in your thumbnail to give people some sort of indication of what's in it.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult because if you do have too much stuff in it, it can be too much.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
But yeah, overwhelming, that's the word. Yeah, it can be too much when you're looking at it. There's too much going on, so your brain just doesn't bother looking at it because it's too much to process.
Yeah.
Especially just looking through videos. But then if you have too little, you feel like you're not explaining enough.
Yeah.
And even I struggle with that. You know, I'll make one and I've got too much going on. I think, oh, it's too much. So I take some off and I'm just like, yeah, but what does that tell me?
Right, exactly. You kind of
Nothing.
tell a little
100%.
story in that.
We
I
try
like
to
what you said, though, that you got to come up with the title and a thumbnail before you make the video. When I'm making shorts, I upload the shorts to Gutterball. Like if I can't think of a title for it, I'm not doing it. Like mainly it's like definitely one of the most important things.
I try to stick between 3 and 5 big things in the thumbnail. Between 3 and 5. Sometimes I push 5. Like this latest one with Patty the Batty, I kind of went like crazy, but I was like, whatever, it looks good. But like there are ones where I'm like, crap, there isn't enough in this. Like you could look at our earlier ones and they're pretty like I have maybe 2 things in it or like one topic that we covered or something, which that's all part of growing though. Like a lot,
Mhm.
I mean, like a lot of
Yeah,
YouTube
definitely.
channels like just don't have thumbnails like
Yep.
for a while, and that's
Yeah.
okay because like they're learning, they're growing. If they continue to do it, they'll realize that they kind of need something that grabs people's attention. So
You need thumbnails,
Yeah.
man.
I
Definitely
think
mandatory now.
one of like when you're doing content, you watch sort of like videos when you're doing research on like how to improve your thumbnails, how to improve your titles, and bits like that. A lot of them all say, look at the likes of Mr. Beast and other big creators like that, where they have hardly anything in their thumbnail, and it's like, yeah, I understand that works for them, but they've got millions of subscribers.
Mhm.
So their fans will look at that thumbnail and know instantly who it is because they've already got that brand in there.
yep,
Right.
It's very difficult to pull the same thing off for small creators
Mhm.
because if you're showing too little, or it's not too little, that's the wrong way to say it, but if you're not showing enough in your thumbnails like they do, where they've got a picture of one thing, to people that don't know who you are and what your content's about, they probably won't click on your video because they're not familiar with what you do.
yep,
Well, I think it's a catch-22 situation. I think
Mhm.
it's all a lot of it is, no matter how much you research and how much you learn and watch videos on, a lot of it I found personally anyway, um, is trying new things and seeing what works. And it's as simple as that. Like, you will always do bad videos, you will always do bad thumbnails and bad titles, but you just take note of them bad ones and try something different next time.
Mhm.
And then you just keep trying and keep trying new things and see what works. Um,
Really just
that's
trial and
that's what I've
error.
found anyway. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly.
and doing it solo such as yourself, it's hard. Like I'm lucky I have
Yeah,
Jackson because he does like all the shorts, right? And also like we use shorts like as basically as advertisements for our channel to pull people into the longer casts or the full length,
yeah.
videos and
Yep.
stuff. So like
Mhm.
we've had, what's it, 9 shorts in a row now with over 1,000 views, which is like pretty decent. Like that's pretty
Mhm.
Yeah,
decent. And
yeah,
like
definitely.
but yeah, like it's tough just like being solo such as yourself. Like you have to consider shorts, thumbnails, titles, like, oh, what am I going to do for this video? Like you kind of have a lot into it. Whereas like with us, like obviously different content, right? Like we're just doing kind of a talk show podcast kind of deal. So it's like kind of just
Yeah,
like hit the record button, whatever comes out, right? And like,
yeah,
and also too, like there isn't as much editing involved for us sometimes. I mean, more so for Jackson with the shorts, and he does a great job on those, by the way. And it's tough, man. Like the balance, like what's more important, you know?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. I mean, uh, when I'm doing mine, depending on what type of video it is, it can be an hour or two of recording, and then you're talking 2 to 3 hours of editing on top of that.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then you've got your thumbnail, then you've got your title. Um, so I do need to put more time into shorts because at the moment, shorts are very good at obviously being discovered as well as your
Mhm.
long form content and bits like that. Um, I've released a few shorts and they've done well and brought people in, but I'm struggling. Obviously, after my 2 to 3 hours editing into my
Yeah.
my long
Yeah.
form video, I've then got to re-edit that again into however many shorts,
Right.
and that's just time. That's time that obviously with working and a home life and whatever else like that, I just
Yeah.
can't
Mhm.
physically do it.
100%.
Right.
You know?
Especially since like you only get that 60 seconds, so you have to really
Yeah,
pick what you want to show people. And
yeah,
even with
exactly.
shorts too, sometimes having them 60 seconds long is not the way to go. Sometimes that quick 25-second thing is what people need. But
Yeah,
yeah, for me, we're researching like shorts. Yeah, fantastic way to grow on YouTube. Like
yeah, definitely.
YouTube wants to take over TikTok. They want people watching their shorts.
Yeah, yeah,
Main
definitely.
source of
I mean,
traffic.
I also struggle with shorts because like the content I do, even with my how-to videos and bits like that, um, some things to explain how to do it takes longer than that minute. Like it's not feasible to explain it and have people understand within that time limit.
Right.
You know, you can explain roughly how to do it, but then
Mhm.
people don't understand. And if people haven't got time, because I've looked into it and I've noticed that a lot of people are watching shorts, but there's not a lot of people that are going from the short and then watching your yeah, the video that's sort of longer that's
Yeah.
linked to it. Um, there isn't many people that are going from the short to that long video because they're flicking through shorts the same way as people flick through TikTok.
Yeah.
You
Same
know,
way.
they're just
Yep.
looking for that short fix for the next 5 minutes. They haven't got 10 minutes to then watch the long video.
Mhm.
So it's good to get noticed and discovered. But as I said, that's where I would struggle because I could explain little bits of my how-tos, but I need them to watch the long video to
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying. But they won't watch the long video because that's not what they want to do, which is why they're watching the shorts.
And honestly, too,
Um,
our
so for
shorts
me,
don't bring in that much.
no,
But
no,
they bring in subscribers.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's the way,
yep,
and
Subs are nice.
likes.
yep,
So
Mhm.
it's like a balance, right? Like,
yeah, it is definitely.
yeah, and
I
with
know.
your content, sorry, Jackson, with your content especially, it is extremely hard to make shorts, like what you're saying, because
Yeah,
like you need to fit that into a small thing, and it's like, well, if you can't cover it all, you need to expect them to go look at your channel and watch the longer one. How do
yeah,
you do that? Like, you know,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
hard to, man. Yeah, I do agree. Like, we don't get a lot of the same thing you do. They watch a shorts, man. They don't click on that cast, but I'm happy that they at least click the subscribe button. So
yeah,
we're doing
yeah.
sort of something right. Also, I like how kind of want to talk to you about like hate comments, and because we get a lot of hate comments. That's pretty much all our channel is for the most part. Just people hating on us, calling us all sorts of terrible things. I was wondering, like, do you deal with that? And like, is there a way that you find that's better? Do you not look at it? Do you just kind of like brush it off? But I'm assuming everyone
Um,
kind of gets the same amount of hate on YouTube.
yeah, yeah. Um, I've had a few, shall we say.
Hmm.
I don't know. It all depends on what the comment is, on how I deal with it.
Right.
It's sort of my at home and bits and pieces like that. I can be very sort of what's the word? I can be, very like sarcastic with my
Hmm.
replies.
Yeah.
Um, if people are rude to me and bits and pieces like that, I won't be rude back or snap back at them.
yeah.
I
Right.
can just be very sort of short and like sarcastic with my reply.
Yeah.
But obviously that doesn't look good on YouTube, so I try and withdraw from being my normal sarcastic self when I
Yeah.
reply to comments, which is very difficult to do sometimes
It
because
It
is.
I
is.
just, you know, I
Yeah.
try and hold back. But most hate comments I tend to just ignore.
Mm.
I'll
Me
I'll
too.
read them, and I'll just like, yeah, okay, that's what you sort of think. You can think what you want. The best way I deal with it and the way I look at it is the only reason why they're doing it is because they want you to reply,
Yep.
because they
Right.
want other people to see their comments so they get, some sort of like reaction out of you and other people. So for me, the best thing to do is just not reply to it. I don't bother liking them or putting a heart on them comments. I just
Hmm.
ignore them
Yeah.
because I'm not giving them what they want,
Exactly. That's the way to
sort
do
of
it.
thing.
And I like what you said, where you gotta like hold back and like maybe not be so sarcastic. Because
Yeah,
man, sometimes I'm like already typing, and then Paul's like,
yeah,
"Wait a minute, dude, you don't need can't say that
yeah,
on YouTube. You're a creator right now."
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I always think it's just like I don't get it, man. And pretty much what I learned from uploading from YouTube is that's a lot of the internet is just a lot of hate. But
And like a
oh
lot
yeah,
of
but
them would never
it
say it to your
isn't.
face in
no,
person
Oh
either.
no,
Like
no,
keyboard hero warriors, whatever you call it.
yeah.
But
yeah,
It does boost their posts, our posts, whether they like it or not. Comments
exactly,
help. Like
exactly.
YouTube doesn't care if they're calling you an idiot, it's a comment,
Yeah,
so it goes
yeah,
out more.
yeah,
we kind of some of them we don't respond to. Some of them will just be like, "Thank you for your engagement and support." Like we'll
Yeah.
just kind of
yeah, yeah,
condescendingly just
Mhm.
say that, and then it's
Yeah.
like,
yep,
yeah, it might bring in more likes to their comment, but more likes on their comment brings us more traffic. And it's just like, it's
Yeah.
again, it's like a balance. Like, what do you do? I
Mhm.
mean, if it's a really
Yeah,
horrible
definitely.
one, and especially like now, like YouTube pretty much auto filters. If you have any swear words in it, it like hides it
Gone.
for everybody. It'll
Yeah.
show like we had a comment on it, but like even we can't see it sometimes.
Mhm.
Like,
No, no. Yeah, I've got a few like that where I've you know, YouTube has told me I've got a comment and I'll go onto it and I can't see it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, where is it? But if you go into your YouTube studio and go into the comments, and then if
yeah.
you click on the filters at the top, it's held for overview, and
Okay.
I find them all in there,
All right.
basically.
I didn't even know that there was that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look at
I
that.
knew it was there, but I never checked it. And I was gonna
Mhm.
check it. There's one short we have that has one comment, but again doesn't appear. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
at some point I
Mhm.
gotta go filter through these and
Yeah.
see. Like, it's probably something really mean.
Yeah.
To be honest, I have had a couple in there, which there's nothing wrong with the comment
Oh, really?
at all.
Oh,
Just
they
gets
just
caught.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I guess makes sense. I actually, it's funny you say that. I think we get a lot of hate comments because I specifically on my shorts click don't hold for review, just allow everything. So I think that's why YouTube doesn't even
Yeah.
check it anymore. They're like, whatever. Guy said it's all right.
So Kryptonite, like other outside of like YouTube and stuff, like what's your day career like? Or like, you don't have to go super into it, dox yourself, anything like that. And like kind of like what other hobbies do you have outside of gaming? I know you mentioned skiing at the beginning. Is that something you still do or anything like
No,
that?
I don't tend to go skiing anymore. It's too expensive to do every year.
Even here it is too.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I kind of knocked that on the head. Um, but yeah, as my day job, I'm sort of a HGV truck mechanic. Um, so yeah, I work for a company that specializes in like vehicle breakdowns and things like that, whether that's cars, whether it's trucks and trailers and all sorts of things. But um, so yeah, I just do a lot of the mechanic work and sort of maintenance work at the depot, basically, just looking after our own vehicles.
That's cool, man. That's actually really sweet. And I as we kind of talked previously about how different cars in the United Kingdom are, especially daily drivers are
Yep.
between like things in the
Mhm.
States. We fucking everything has to be massive here for whatever reason, and like we have to have
Yeah.
as much horse as we can get. Like we were talking about how like my daily driver literally has like the same engine as some of the bigger diesel trucks they have there.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty
Yep.
crazy to think about. Um
Yep.
but yeah, like so outside of your career, like what else do you like to do? Is there anything other than like gaming and like making content? Is there like anything you do in general? Do you like to go see movies when they come out? Is there anything like crazy like that?
Um,
Or
I don't really tend to go and see movies.
yeah,
Um,
neither do I. I don't really go much
Yeah.
anymore either.
yeah. Um, I struggle to find time to do much else with work and
It's
the
fair.
content creator and
Mhm.
home life. I do go and play golf every now and then, when I have time just for some downtime.
Mhm.
But apart from that, that's pretty much where all my time goes at this moment in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, hey,
So yeah,
that's all right, man. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Other than that, I
Mhm.
sometimes try to do some ceramics or painting because, being in IT, I have to use my logical side of my brain a lot when really I'm
yep,
mainly like
yep,
left-brained. I'm more of a creative guy. It's just I ended up in the IT field and like so I try to disconnect. Like, video editing can scratch that itch too of creativity, but
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
try
definitely,
to do something away from tech because I deal with it all the
yeah,
time and just kind of do like
yep.
mess with clay or like paint something or draw, which I haven't
Mhm.
drawn in a very long time. But hey, I guess I didn't know you like golf every once in a while. I guess I hit the nail on the head with Mario Golf in the back there, so
Oh
Yeah.
I'll put
yeah,
that one
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, and like as you get older too, time will like free up. You'll start to like I've even noticed that like getting into a big career like I am now, like holy shit, at the beginning it was like you're working all the time. You barely have time for much. You get home and especially like me, like I'm trying to get into working out now. Like as I get older, it's like, man, I
yep.
realize like shit, like I need to like run my ass around the block a few times, like. And so like I've recently gotten into boxing, which is pretty fun. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, that's cool, man. So in the YouTube realm, what kind of do you watch much YouTube? Like, what creators are like? Who are some of your favorite creators on YouTube, or anything like
Oh,
that? Or
um, I watch a fair bit of YouTube. I would say I would say for me, I don't watch much TV. I watch
Mhm.
YouTube.
Yeah,
That is
Okay.
a
my
lot of
TV,
people do that.
basically. Yeah. But yeah, I've got a few creators that I enjoy watching. Um, in regards to Minecraft, I do like watching Captain Sparkles
Oh yeah, classic.
quite a lot. He's fun to watch
Mhm.
on Minecraft. What other ones? There's the Real Civil Engineer. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
Not.
No. He does a lot of sort of different video games, but they're more sort of like logic based and like puzzle solving and bits and pieces like that.
Oh, cool.
Um, and yeah, no one really massively in particular. I'm very sort of open to who I watch.
Yeah.
Um, obviously there are a couple of creators that I have, you know, they sort of do um a, a game series sort of thing that I will watch episodes of that. But apart from that, um, I just basically look at my homepage and whatever,
Mhm.
tickles my interest, I'll watch.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in the same boat. I used to really like maybe it's like with an age thing where like as you get older you start to like follow people stop following people consistently and you more so rely on like what subscriber base you've already built, like who you subscribe to, and you just go to the
Yeah,
homepage and be like, oh, a new upload from this guy. I haven't watched him in a while, or like
yeah,
Mhm.
this guy
yeah,
hasn't uploaded in a long time. I'll give it I'll check it out. Or sometimes you just get so bored of that, you'll just scroll down and literally start looking through like the random sections
yeah,
of like, oh, this is, cool.
Yeah.
Lately, I don't know, like I'll watch Super Mega every once in a while because I was really into like I don't know if you know who like Filthy Frank and like iDubbbz were. Like they used to do like a lot of like pretty edgy stuff that's not allowed on YouTube anymore. And so
Mhm.
like
yeah,
nothing really scratches that itch for me anymore, but Super Mega kind of does. They get pretty close to that as far as like the
Mhm.
comedy realm. But yeah, really for me it's just like whatever's on the home screen. Sometimes car
Yeah.
yeah,
stuff. Like I like looking at car reviews and stuff like that too.
I get caught up in the realm of shorts and like clips of movies, especially the Soprano shorts, man. I can't get enough of those. Just little 15 seconds. But yeah, I noticed that you're wearing a Parkway Drive hat. Any other type of music you like? Is that your favorite band?
uh,
Paul wanted to ask this one.
Yeah.
to be honest, there isn't much type of music I don't like.
That's
Um,
cool. Same here, honestly.
but for me, it all depends on what mood I'm in. It
Right,
depends what I listen
100%.
to.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Yeah, there's loads of different artists and type of music I like. It all just depends on what mood I'm in,
Right.
to be honest.
So in the metal realm, what do you listen to? Like just like metal, maybe you can even
Well,
consider rock and roll.
I listen to all sorts, sort of like the old school Kiss and Guns N' Roses,
Classic.
Mhm.
Can't go
Metallica,
wrong with
Yeah.
that. Hell yeah, man.
you know,
Same here.
all of that lot, and yeah, sort of, newer stuff, Parkway Drive. I listen to a bit of I Prevail and bits and pieces like that
Okay.
sometimes. It
Yeah.
it all depends on what mood I'm in. But
Mhm.
yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I can get heavy, like Carnifex and some like
yeah,
heavier stuff too. Like I don't mind. We saw
Yeah.
Carnifex. Jack and I
Yeah,
did. That was
Carnivor's a really
cool.
good band. Yeah.
Um,
I got Cannibal Corpse right there. I'm into the big way heavier stuff, just straight death metal, but
yeah.
to each their own. It's acquired taste for sure.
But don't get me wrong, I listen to slow stuff too. If like
Me too,
Yeah,
I'll listen to like
yeah,
Joji or something, which was
yeah.
Filthy Frank is Joji, his like slower
Mhm.
music, and like I'll listen to like EDM sometimes, or like even some old school
yeah,
dubstep I used to listen to. Like that's
Mhm.
cool. Like then there's so much. Like I'm probably kind of just like you in the same way, Kryptonite, where like I like everything from every genre pretty much. And that even
yeah,
includes some old school country. I don't go out of my way to
Mhm.
listen to it, but if it's on,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like this is all right,
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Enjoy this. Yeah.
Um, oh, Jackson was gonna ask this one. I'm gonna ask it. So, Kryptonite,
Okay.
the name, is it? Did you really like Three Doors Down, or are you a fan? Do you hate Superman? Like, yeah, we were wondering, like, kind
You
of
know?
where'd you get the name?
Yeah.
Where did I get the name?
Yeah,
Well, I do obviously, like my comics, whether it's like, Superman or Hulk or whatever. I've always been into the comics and bits and
Mhm.
pieces like that. Um, the color is my favorite color.
it is cool.
So
Yeah.
I kind of I had the color in mind, and I was just like, what can I pick that's slightly different but that color? And then that just sprung to mind basically. So that's where it come from.
That is
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Simple as that,
I,
really.
I was hoping you would have been like, yeah, I fucking hate Superman. But like still, that's a good origin.
I
That's a
hate
good
'em.
origin. No, I really
Yeah.
like the DC comics. So one of our older brother had like a big comic book collection growing up. So like
Yeah.
the ones that he would open, he would let us, like, hey, you can read this, whatever. So like I got a good like into that world. I like to read those. And you know what, man? That's like a dying, like, you think about it, that my older brother's generation, like comics, like, too, like, that was like their video games. You think about it, like, they had
Yeah.
video games,
Yeah.
but it wasn't crazy like we have them now. Whereas like video games have kind of taken over that art form of comics, which I don't buy many comics. I don't own a lot. I really only own a couple, but like, oh man, that the last thing I need is another expensive hobby. So I should probably
Yeah,
avoid that. But
exactly.
I do like appreciate when somebody has like a comic book collection, or like, or I read something about a comic. It is super cool, especially like those super rare ones. Like, they're like, what? They made one about this? Like, what?
Yeah,
That's
like,
crazy.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
I love the ads in old comics. Those are my favorite things. Like comics from the 80s and
Yeah.
90s, just seeing all the ads. They had ads. Man, I swear one time they had ads for cigarettes in a comic book. I swear to God, I'll
Yeah.
find it. I have that comic book somewhere, but hilarious. All types of shit they could get away with back then. Yeah, the last comics I really got into was the Batman New 52 series, which is kind of like they put all like like this new like Batman story in a graphic novel, so they're all in there, and there's like 10 series in it. It's pretty good though.
Cool.
Good
I don't
comics.
think I've heard of that one. I'll have to check those out.
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually have a comic behind me here that's not, it's not super popular, but this came with Max Payne 3, like the
Yeah.
collector's
Nice.
edition.
Nice.
And they like
Nice.
they like made an origin, like kind of like Max Payne's origin. Honestly, it's like super cool, but I haven't read it in a while. I should probably give a look through it. It's super short, but no, again, I don't need another expensive hobby, but
Yeah, exactly.
is there
Yeah, reading. I'm trying to get more into reading. I actually bought a couple like books. Some of them are from Jordan Peterson's recommendation list, but yeah, I see people like reading that break on work. I'm like, shit, I should be reading, man. I should be on my phone all day.
and people are like, "Oh, I'm reading
Yeah.
my news feed," and it's like, well, that's not really
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
No, see, I struggle with reading. Not reading. I just
Yeah.
struggle to sort of take the information in when I'm reading.
Yeah.
I find I get, too distracted with other things when I'm trying to read. So I tend to listen to more audiobooks. I find I take it a lot more in, sort of
Oh.
listening to stories and podcasts and things like that. I tend to take more information in if I'm listening more than reading.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of the same way. I've been wanting to get back into reading again, just like books, like literally like books. And like, because like what I noticed, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this out there, but before going to bed, everyone's on their phone. They're like
Yeah.
scrolling through, you're checking up on things. And it's like, I'm going to try to eventually here soon replace that with like a half hour, 45 minutes before bed, read a book. Start reading a book or something.
Yeah.
Those blue lights, man, humans are so sensitive to that. It's terrible for your eyes. It's really, really bad. So yeah, definitely something like that. Move.
Now this is a question that's I just thought was kind of like you might not even have an answer for it, but it's more so like we like to tell a lot of like, sometimes we talk and reminisce about like our high school days or funny school stories. Is there anything that comes to your mind, like college or school, like something hilarious or something like maybe that happened to you or somebody that you like witnessed in school that comes to your mind?
No, to be honest, I can't really think of. Yeah, I can't really think of anything interesting that happened.
Yeah, no worries.
Really?
I was just like, it's kind of like not really reoccurring, but I've watched a lot of our older casts, and I'm like, man, people talk a lot about these crazy things that happened in school. Like,
well, I got some story. I got a story I just thought of that I think could be pretty funny. All right, so in high school, like in the States at least, they have drug dogs come through it like once a month, searching for dope and stuff. You usually don't find anything, whatever. But they come one day and my friend's in the bathroom, and then two kids come in frantic. They're like, man, I gotta ditch this weed, man. Cops are here. Like, I gotta hide it. So they hide it inside the sink. Our sinks were like ceramic with a base that was wide. So it's like wide enough that you could shove shit in there, but you couldn't get it out. There's no way you can get that out because it's like down in the sink now. My friend saw that. He's like immediately comes finds me and 4 buddies, and we somehow MacGyver like we tape pins together. We tape like paper clips and shit together, and we're trying to MacGyver the weed out of the sink. like put in like long rods. Like we just kept taping colors markers together and shit. And I just remember trying to get the weed out. And we ended up did get the weed. We did get it. It was like it's like an eighth, which is 3.5 grams. So it was a lot of weed. And like, but we spent an hour in the bathrooms, like 4 of us. We actually had someone hold the door closed for a second. They're like, "Don't let anyone come in because you got to get this out." And man, that was wild. And then and then we ended up smoking it in that bathroom that day. And then we all dip out and run away because some kids like, "Oh, I have a pipe. You want to smoke it right here?" And we're like, "All right, cool." And we smoke it, we run out, and then the next day I come into class. The first thing the teacher says is they're like, "We got reports of someone smoking weed in the first floor bathroom." And I'm like, "Oh shit, oh shit." And we have no idea who it is. And I'm like, "Oh, we're great, we're good, we're fine. You don't have to worry about it." But yeah, that was just a wild thing I thought about. Like, I can't believe he did that. We
That's
were so young
crazy.
too. Yeah.
That's a good question though. Like in the UK, are they pretty heavy on that stuff? Like law wise, like especially like well, I guess marijuana is starting to get kind of looser around the world in a way, especially in the states. Some states are just full blown legalizing it. But like
Yeah.
how's the stuff over there? Like is it pretty like locked down? It's like felony or like what's it like?
It's got stricter,
It's got
if
stricter.
anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. When when I was younger, you could get caught with a bit and I'd kind of yeah, like take it off you and give you a warning or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the limits were
Yeah.
back then. Um, but yeah, if you had a small bit, they'd just sort of like take it off you. If you had some more, but they could kind of say that that's only for your use, but it's a bit too much to have on you walking down the street. Then yeah, you'd get fined and you'd probably get a little warning for it. But now they've got really strict. Like, even if you've got, like one smoke's worth on you, then yeah, they'll basically take it off you, fine you,
Mhm.
and all the rest of it. So it's got a lot stricter than what it used to be.
That's interesting. That's kind of
Um,
like whereas
but
here
yeah,
they're getting more lax, it seems.
Mhm.
Like states are
yeah,
starting to really like there's what, Jax? There's got to be like more than 5 states now that are like full blown legalized, like it's
think
decriminalized. But then there's also a lot more states that are decriminalized, meaning like if you
I
get
think
caught with
like
it, it's a fine and like that's it. Like send you
I
on your
yeah,
way,
serious I
basically,
think
or
yeah.
they
I think
throw it.
there's like 12 states that aren't decriminalized now at this point.
Yeah, which is
It's
crazy.
not that much. And legal states now I think is like 8 or 9, which is a decent bit.
And then like those states remaining are literally like you get caught with any bit amount, you're getting a felony and you are going to jail. And
Jail.
it's just
Yeah,
like
Mm,
it's funny because I live in Duluth and I could drive 30 minutes over to Superior and I don't have any weed, but if I was caught with weed there, I would probably be going to jail that night. Versus if I was caught here, they would be like, "Oh, whatever, throw it away and call me an idiot," go on
yeah.
their way. But
yeah,
it's crazy, man. I really wish we could just have one set law. Like it's either all okay or none of it's okay, man. I don't like this state thing, you know.
yeah. I guess that's where I'm kind of lucky where I'm from, is I don't have to worry about keeping in mind different laws depending on where I go.
Right, exactly.
It's all the same. So
Hmm. Yeah.
God,
I
that's
guess
actually
I'm
kind of
lucky in that
nice in a
sense.
way. Yeah.
I guess you went to high school way before I did, and even Paul. But did you ever experience any drug dogs coming in sniffing anything like that? Because at the
No,
states, at least, it was a monthly occurrence that they'd bring a drug dog in and go around the building. That's crazy. Let's just be my
no.
time.
To be fair, um, yeah, drugs weren't really known
Hmm.
in school. Um, it was very because of how strict
Right.
the laws and that are here
Yeah.
of it. It was if you got caught in it in school, then yeah, basically you wouldn't. if you got caught with it in school, then you could guarantee by the end of the week you wouldn't be going back.
Okay.
You'd have to find a different school to go to. So
Mhm.
it was very strict in that sense. So yeah, you didn't really see much of it at all.
Yeah, and that's what it
Crazy.
kind of is here. Like, so like with our laws, whatever, schools are like they follow the laws of the United States, but they can have like way stricter things, such as like
Mhm.
Yeah,
they can affect things like freedom of speech, like what you can say, what you can kind of wear in school, right? But also like drugs. Like I don't know how it is now, but like if you got caught with weed in school, you are getting expelled. Same with
yeah,
like drinking, like if you had alcohol or something in
Mhm.
like literally like in school. Like I know a kid, uh I was in high school. He was a year older than me. He brought like a bottle and it was in his locker and he got like 6 kids drunk and they all like showed up to
Yep.
class drunk. And then like he got found out. And not only him, it was only him though. The people that like partook, it was because he brought it and like gave
Yeah.
it to them. So like they got in
Yep.
trouble. They maybe got suspended a day or something like that or two. But
Mhm.
he literally had to leave the school district and like find somewhere else to go, which is
Yeah.
which is fair. You shouldn't have that shit in school. Like
No,
you
it's
just
no,
shouldn't.
terrible.
Like,
Like
you have to be
I
pretty dumb to do that. Like
Oh, it got way more lax after you because I know kids, same situation, brought weed or alcohol. They got caught. They're suspended for 2 weeks, but they always came back. I actually know a story of a kid getting caught with tabs of acid at school. Is not good. That is a felony. But he came back after a month. They got him. They got rid of him for a month. Did not expel him though. And I'm pretty sure he did got to like he had to go to court and stuff. But yeah,
why
like
is
they got way
why is
laxer
he
on
bringing
it.
Sykes to school?
I
How do
don't
you
know,
even
dude.
learn?
People are wild, man. It's crazy. I can't believe I survived that school, but I yeah, needless to say, I didn't hang out with that kid because
Yeah.
it's sus.
Although I have heard that people do learn better on acid.
Interesting.
I've never heard that. I believe it.
Wow.
We have to
surprised.
watch that Goldface because he would know.
Yeah, he would know. Yeah, that the
Yeah.
Mr. Bad Trip that hopped in the chapter. That's Goldface
yeah,
Money Watch. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, so he's like he's a rapper and or like musical artist you could say because he does like a lot of different genres. But he's gonna be the one coming on the show next week here, like right after you. And so we're interesting to pick his brain because he's like had a lot of experience with like that stuff and whatnot.
He is the prince of the psychedelic underground. So
yeah,
like
that's
his whole thing is he takes a lot of psych. So
yeah.
maybe I have
To
an
be
opinion on
fair,
that.
that does interest me. Like, yeah, like I watch a lot of videos on it, and
Mhm.
it does interest me a lot.
Mhm.
Sort of, what they do with your brain and the
Yeah.
bits and pieces like that. It is interesting to delve into, put it that way.
Oh,
Because
it
we
is. Yeah,
understand
100%.
like nothing about them. Because we don't understand the human consciousness. How can we understand something that alters it?
Exactly.
No idea.
Exactly.
It is super cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
it is a super interesting thing to me. It's not like I like go out of my way to like research it, but it's like if I watch something like I pop on Joe Rogan or something, he's gonna be talking about psychedelics at some point. It's Joe
Yeah.
Rogan,
He
so I'm like,
mentioned it,
okay,
yeah.
I'll give it a
Mhm.
listen because it's interesting.
Well, happening more in the States now are psychedelic therapies and ketamine therapies
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Is that not that's not really happening much over there at all? Pretty
No, I
strict.
don't think it will, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Okay.
Um, I don't think it will because I think that sort of our government and things will probably they'll lose too much money off things like that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, they don't wanna yeah, it's all about money really
yeah,
what it comes down
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's all it is basically,
Mhm.
and I think that's why we won't. Yeah, obviously, I don't think that we'll ever make weed legal, and I think it's because of that.
Okay.
I think because it will cost the government too much money.
Yeah.
And like I think what the states here that have full blown legalized it are realizing,
Yeah,
especially like Colorado, like they're like, oh shit, we can tax the hell out of this, which they
Oh,
do.
yeah.
yeah,
Like you can get it,
Mhm.
it's legal.
yeah,
It's just like way more than you would ever pay like street price probably. And like
yeah,
Well
and then like if you go to Colorado, which I haven't been there, I've heard they got all new road infrastructure and bridges and shit
yeah,
because they've just used all that
really
money
nice.
they've made off of it. And like the thing is like other than like smoking it, weed has a lot of uses, like hemp, like stuff like that. Like
Hemp
yep,
rope,
you can pretty much make like
steel.
rope, you can make clothing, you can make pencils out of it. Like you can pretty much replace mostly like what wood does with hemp, which is
yeah,
kind of interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, like
yeah.
a
I mean,
hemp
I over here we have yeah, obviously we have stuff like like CBD oil and things with hemp and all of that lot. So obviously everyone knows there's health benefits to it,
Yeah.
but I don't think they want the bad stuff to come with it. So they've
Right.
kind of made their own way of taking the good stuff and using that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it works because hemp is really, really, really
Yeah.
useful. Like I always tell people, like people that don't really know about it, for even listeners, like if you have a sheet of like printed like copy paper right now, that will begin to yellow in like 1 year. If you have a sheet of hemp paper, that won't yellow for 10 years after you've, used it, which is crazy. And even like I don't know if you know this, but it can even be used in some sorts of steel and stuff because it's extremely tough. Which they've been using more and more of lately. It's kind of
Mm.
cool.
That is cool. Jackson, you have to wear contacts, right?
I do.
So I
Sucks.
see you said here that having to wear glasses is pay to win. That's pretty.
It's literally pay to win, man. Imagine not being able to
Mhm.
see anything. Imagine you have to, dude. I have to pay how much? Like probably $300, $400 a year just to be able to see that year, man. It's brutal. It is nasty, man. Because I like imagine like you grew up in 1800s in a poor family and you just had bad eyesight. You're fucked. You're ruined for life. You
Yeah.
can't see anything. What do
Yeah.
you can't see that bear charging you? You can't see nothing. Man, it sucked. Like it is really having pay to win. They eventually in a perfect society, glasses would be like water. Like everyone gets them for free. Just give them glasses because people need to see, but it's not the way the world works, unfortunately.
Honestly, I
But yeah,
wish
that's
it was
my
that
two
way for
cents.
like all ailments or like
Yeah,
disabilities. Like, man, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
if this guy needs a fucking wheelchair, just give him a
give them a
fucking
wheelchair.
wheelchair
Yeah,
for
right.
free. Like,
Why are we arguing about this? Like, that's yeah,
yeah, just like if it's gonna make his quality of life better and he's gonna be like more productive as a member of society because he can get around and he can still have a job, I'm all
yeah.
for it,
Why do
you
we got to
know.
charge them for it? Yeah, that's my 2 cents on glasses, though. If you have to wear glasses, man, I'm with you. I feel your pain.
But I'm sure you've heard of American healthcare. It's
Mhm.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like what's it like in the UK? Is it like I'm assuming it's not free, right? Is it or like what's it like? Do you have like insurance? Like
Um, most of it's free with the NHS. You can go private and obviously pay for it yourself. Um, in regards to dental care, um, small things in regards to dental care are free with the NHS. But most people tend to go private.
Hmm.
Um, just because at this moment in time, the NHS are very understaffed and overwhelmed. Um, so to try and get appointments and things like that, people are struggling. Um, so obviously they tend to pay for healthcare. In regards to things like if you sort of things like medication and bits and pieces like that, most of it you have to pay for.
Okay.
Um, so the yeah, it's free to go and see someone to try and find out what's wrong with you, but if you need any sort of medication, then you do have to pay for that.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's I would say a bit of both, depending on what the circumstances are and
yeah,
things like that. Um, in regards to major things like operations and bits and pieces like that, if it's to do with your health that you can't help, it will be covered and it's free. Um, if it's something that sort of you choose to do to sort of better yourself, um, I'm trying to think of an example, but I
Like
can't really
a
something
think.
nose job or
like
anything.
cosmetic, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but even not cosmetic sort of things like if you've got a a problem with your knee, for instance, like
Mhm.
that, um, you can get it sorted through the NHS, but you might have to wait for 5 years for a slot for them to fit you in with the correct sort of surgeon to fix your problems and that, or you can sort of pay for it and go private. That's through choice,
Okay.
um, which is kind of what I mean. But yeah, it's things like any like nose jobs or bits and pieces like that. Then yeah, you have to pay for that. That's not covered. Um, unless it unless you've got a problem with your if you've got a problem with your health and having an operation on your nose could solve that problem, then that would be covered. But
Okay, I
obviously, if
see
you
what you mean.
do it
Right.
through choice, then yeah, you'd have to pay for it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it all depends, really.
So
So,
with the sorry, Jackson, with the privatized
okay.
stuff, is it like is there an insurance you can get, like a health insurance, or is it just like you pay out of pocket whatever the place is charging kind of deal?
Yeah, you can get health insurance to help pay for that, or I'm sure that you'd have like payment plans with the company who are doing that sort of thing.
Okay.
Um, or if you've got the money, obviously you can pay it outright. But yeah, there's
Sure.
there's many different ways to do it.
Jackson, what
Well,
were
it
you gonna
sounds a little
say? Yeah.
nicer than we have over here. It's pretty cutthroat here. It's like,
Yeah,
need this
I've heard.
operation to live? Oh, we'll put you on a wait list 5 years. Got insurance? 1 year, you know?
Yeah.
But, I think overall, like, it can be better in everywhere, like, but I don't know. It's gonna take a while before that even happens.
Yeah, UK sounds, as far as healthcare, sounds a bit similar to Canada. But Canada, I don't
Yeah.
know if you heard lately, they've been having some damn problems. Like they're pretty backed up, and like they're
Mhm.
literally. Have you
Mm.
heard about like the assisted suicide thing that they've been pushing? Like, oh, you can
No.
yeah. So like they literally are so backed up with like their free healthcare that it's like if you have a thing that's like gonna like kill you, like maybe you need like
Mhm.
surgery on cancer or something to get it removed, they literally have an option like, well, we can't slot you in, but we can offer assisted suicide. And it's like that's such a
What the
fucking
that's
God.
so fucked up, dude.
and I'm not
And
even kidding. Like that's what I've heard, like Canada's like
thing
problem
about
right now. Like that's so
yeah,
fucked up.
thing about Canada is they don't pay their
That's
doctors,
bad.
and a lot of people don't realize about Canada is when you go to the doctor's office, they're like, "Do you have insurance? Because it's better if you have insurance, because we'll get you in, but you're gonna want to have insurance." Like, it's not like you do get that free healthcare. It's nice, I guess if you do wake up in cardiac arrest, you're probably gonna get saved and not have it to pay anything. But
Yeah.
yeah, in terms
Yeah.
of like anything else, you definitely got to pay for it.
So Kryptonite, I wanted to ask you, so like you being like you're doing a career as a mechanic, do you are so like you say you don't like working on cars. Are you like into cars at all? Like do you like looking at like cool tuner cars? Like is there like a dream car you want someday or something like that?
Um, I don't get as excited and look at them like I used to when I was younger.
That's fair.
Um, I do still like the look of some of them. I don't like them when they're overdone,
Yeah, the new
though.
ones are all kind of looking the same, aren't
Yeah.
they? Kind of like in the
Mhm.
Yeah.
States.
Um, yeah. I don't know. My I ideal car is probably got to be um a Skyline R34 GTR. That's probably
Nissan.
my dream car.
Those are sick, man. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't
Mhm.
want a
Probably my dream
Skyline
car.
at some
Yeah.
point, you know? Like,
Right.
they're sick. I mean, that's a great choice. Like, for me, it's hard for me to think about because I used to be into, like, oh, the fast, cool, sleek looking cars. But, like, as you get older, I mean, maybe it's just me, you start to just, like, look at the utility of cars. Does
Yeah.
this thing
Mhm.
have all wheel drive? Does it have enough room to
Mhm.
fit my stuff? Like, does it have a roof rack? Can I add this to it? You know, does it have a nice sound system if you're into that, right? Like, um, honestly, man, I really like a lot of the newer like Subaru Outback Wildernesses. I wouldn't say that's like my dream car, but like if I wanted to buy a new daily, it'd be like one of those new like Subaru like Wilderness ones that are like already
Mhm.
lifted kind of deal, super cool. Man, honestly, now I don't even know the answer to that. Like, what would my dream car be? Jack, you know, we've talked about this, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We have
I
talked about
always
this.
come I always come back around to the Batman Tumbler and Christopher Nolan. I'd use that as my daily driver. I'm good to go, dude. This
Thing's
guy
probably
pulls up in a Batmobile.
so bad on gas mileage,
Yeah,
probably.
I don't care. I'm driving it every single day. I don't care.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, it's a real working car, so why not?
Um, yeah, I don't know what mine would be.
I think you said a couple on the last time we
I
talked
probably
about this,
did.
but
I
I don't
probably
remember.
did, but yeah, it's not that
A Kia
important. But
Soul? Or one of those?
no, God, those are so ugly, dude. Do you have like a lot of like American brands in the UK for cars?
Um, not many, no.
S-
No.
So like not Ford,
Um,
Chevy, Dodge, like a
we
bunch of
we
that.
have we have Ford. Um, we have Ford Transit vans, and we've got like little Ford Connect vans, and then we've got in cars we've got sort of Ford Focus, Fiesta, generic things like that. There are a few Dodges, but they're quite rare. You don't see them very often.
Yeah.
There's a few Dodges, there's a few Chevys as well, but you don't see many of them. They're very expensive to buy over here.
Really? Okay, yeah, because I didn't think
Yeah,
about that because, like, they're cheap here because they're
imported.
not imported, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
are they
exactly.
considered pretty junky though? Like, what is the reception on American cars over there? Like, not reliable, like pretty shitty?
No, because they tend to be they don't tend to be the old ones. So
Fair. They're all
there
newer.
will be, yeah, they're all sort of they're made for Europe, so they're our spec. But they are still more expensive than your average car.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
What are some popular car brands there? Like, we said Ford, Chevy, Toyota. What about over there?
Oh, there's quite a few, to be honest. There's
Okay.
quite a vast diversity of car makes. Unfortunately, we haven't got any car manufacturers that are from the UK anymore.
Hmm.
Oh, gotcha.
We sold them to, I can't remember who we sold them to, but yeah, sort of the likes of like Land Rover and Mini. They used to be British, but they got sold on. So yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got any British manufacturers anymore.
Oh, there it is.
But yeah, there's loads. We've got Nissans, we've got Toyotas, we've got Fords, we've got Vauxhalls. What else have we got?
You guys got like Hondas over there? Any
Yeah,
Subarus?
we've got
Mm.
Hondas. Not many Subarus, to be honest. There used to be quite a few sort of 10, 15 years ago, but they seem to have fizzled out now.
Gotcha.
And yeah, Hondas, Hyundais, basically all the Japanese, all the European makes, they're all over here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because it's probably honestly cheaper. I mean, like being closer to you as far as distance, it's probably like
Yeah,
cheaper to get them
yeah.
there. So it makes sense for, which makes sense. There's not as many American vehicles. I don't know over here, dude. I mean, the common reception, at least for most. I mean, don't get me wrong. American vehicles are like the most popular ones on the roads here, like Ford,
Mm.
Chevy, Dodge. They're pretty junky. Like they have like the reliability isn't as good as like say like you can get like a Honda Civic that's gonna last you twice as long
Yeah.
with the least amount of repairs, right? But you're also talking like smaller motor, maybe not as
Yep.
many cool, nice features like creature comforts that we like to load into our vehicles now. Man, I just wish somebody would like buy the patent of the like if we didn't have all these safety regulations now, someone would just buy the patent of like the 92 Civic and just only make those again, but like new, like all the time. Fuck, I drive one of those. Super good on
Yeah.
gas, like probably not safe. You get hit by somebody, you're probably dead, but
Brutal.
Well, what do you guys think? We're almost up on an hour and a half here. Is there any last topics we want to cover? Kryptonite, is there anything you wanted to talk about before we kind of let her off?
No, nothing I can think of now. I'm sure we'll probably meet again and we'll have plenty more to talk about.
Of
So
course. Yeah. I'd love to have you on again. Honestly, dude, it's been an awesome show. It was great to finally like
been a
talk to you and
pleasure.
meet you. We'd love to have you on again. And go ahead right now. Is there anything you want to pimp other than like your YouTube channel's at Kryptonite, right?
yep, the handle is at Kryptonite. It won't be difficult to find.
Yeah.
So I've been quite lucky from that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything too you think of afterwards, feel free to shoot it to me, and I'll make sure it's in the description below. If you guys are looking at, if you guys want to check out Kryptonite's content, it'll all be in the description there. We'll have links and stuff to that. Well, anyways, Jackson, we good here? Anything else you want to put in?
No,
Okay.
nothing. Just thanks for the support on the shorts and the long length videos, and I'm glad we got to talk to Kryptonite. Fantastic. We got two guests. We got Kryptonite coming out, and we got another fantastic guest right after him coming out. So stay tuned for that one.
Yep. And
that's all I got.
Yeah. So that's Gutterball 27. Thank you so much for coming on, Kryptonite. Everybody have a good weekend.
Been brilliant.
See you guys later.
See you later.